afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you may be. I'm Caroline Turner, and today I'm following on for our T.A.G, how to use targets to make them fun, exciting, something that everyone wants to get involved with, something that feels easy. It becomes pleasurable. When something is pleasurable, teams will move much faster in achieving what we need. So, team targets, we've spoken about on our first day, and there are 7 key things that we need in place. Today, I want to talk about a really simple chart that I've used many times, and I want to explain why. Because of course, it would be very easy for us to get to the end of the day and print something off and pop it up on a wall or speak to a team at the beginning of the day with our rah-rah meetings with, this is what we've done, this is what we're going to do. But that doesn't impact how people work. And for me, what I always wanted to do was to get them thinking. I want team members to be not just enthusiastic and wanting to go for it. I want them to use their initiative. I don't want to have to spend the whole time feeling like a parrot with that, can you put that away please, can you do that now? Because, not only is that draining as a salon owner or as a salon manager, but it becomes a sort of, it's like having your mum say, can you tidy your room up? Can you put that in the wash bin? It's boring. No one wants that, it's boring. So the to-go chart was something that I always used because I knew certain things would always happen. And I learned that from putting it into place in one of the most successful spas that I ran. Now, the to-go chart actually came about was that we're now going back in time, way back in time, because I'm getting old. I had to keep an actual written log of every single person in the team's revenue. And it was freaking time consuming. And so I thought, how can I get the team to do part of this for me? It was better use of my time. And so I made this really simple chart up in which they just had to put down what they'd done in services, what they'd achieved in retail, and what their grand total was for the day. Now, as I've always worked with, we go down on targets, which I spoke about in the previous post. I'd always have then on there what was left to go. That's when it became the to-go chart. And then I started to notice a shift and a change in how people behaved. And over the years, as I've studied more in psychology and neurology, I understood why. That's why that worked. So I'm going to tell you about how the to-go chart works. So the to-go chart simply is either on a whiteboard or a piece of paper, and yes, they have to use a pen, a pencil, and fill it in. Yes, that does tend to take a little bit of reminding to get them into the habit of doing it. Yes, you may have people within a team who may think, why do I need to do this? But if you stick with it, you put it in place, you stick with it, be flexible, be supportive. Once they start to do it, I tend to find what will happen is the following. First off, the team will start to communicate. I cannot tell you how many times I have been somewhere in the vicinity and I can hear team members start to go, you're having a good week. What have you been doing? Communication. And they'll start to tell each other, well, what I've been doing is this. What I've done is that. Why don't you work next to me tomorrow? You can hear what I'm saying. They start to communicate and support each other. And because a team is supporting themselves, there's the principle of pain and pleasure, and I talk about it a lot, but it's a really important psychology about how we all work. We seek out pleasure and we avoid pain. And as much as all of us as salon managers, spa managers or owners, would like to think that everyone will just come and knock on our door and go and talk to us. Generally, we're often the last one to know what's going on. And it's about pain and pleasure. So when it comes to getting people to support each other, it allows the team to have somewhere safe to say, I'm struggling. What can I do? For those who are our senior members, it allows them to get the pleasure of helping other people. So those struggling can avoid the pain of knocking on our door and saying, I'm struggling, I'm finding this hard. And for those who are succeeding, they get the pleasure of helping other people. So my first thing I always found, it starts communication. They start helping each other. Have you tried this? Why don't you try that? Work with me. And that takes a big weight off our shoulders, because if we're the ones always having to do everything, it's exhausting. We can't be everything to all people all of the time. My next reason, hold on, I've got it up on my little thing here and I've just managed to press a button. My next reason, if she can do it, or he, I can do it. Now, the figures that go up on the board are never related to anyone's wage structure or how they're paid. They're just the target that's currently been set. And that has no relationship to what they are paid. With the figure up, I can see what everyone else is doing. If I have any particular blocks in my thinking of, it can't be done, people around here don't spend money, suddenly seeing what everyone else is doing can make a person switch. If he can do it, I can do it. And it helps to remove any mental barriers that are stuck in someone's head, especially if they've been underperforming for a period of time. So for me, as someone who often goes into businesses and assists in taking an underperforming team to a high performance team, getting people to get that, I can do it. If he can do it, I can do it, shifts and changes then how people behave. And for me, that's like an extra bonus with using this chart. So not only do I have the communication, I now have people switching to I can. And to hit targets, they have to believe. They have to believe it's possible. Because if they switch themselves down, it's very hard. It's very hard to motivate someone. In fact, motivation, we can't motivate anyone. Motivation is a notional kind of word. We can inspire people. I might inspire you to take a look at the post or take a look at the website, but I can't motivate you to. You click or you don't click. Now the next one, one of my favourites. You see, I've got people now within the team who are going, well, if she can do it, I can do it. And we've got then, what are you doing? What can I do? Now we get to those in the team who are, let's call them the bad apple. Now, part of my online course starts actually with how we think. I like to think it's done in a way that's fun and interesting for team members. But the reason I start there is if we have any mental blocks, or if we are negative thinkers, if we are the bad apple, then either I've got to find a way of making people go, holy crap, that's me, and that's why we cover it. Or I can start to see now who are my slackers, because we will have one. There's always one. In the past, when I've gone into teams, if I can figure out who that is, and if I need to really put down that, this is what we're going to be doing, I'll give you the world, but I won't tolerate, or I have a line. I always go through with teams, there is a line. You don't cross that line. You cross the line and we'll have words. It'll be done very professionally, but we will be having a meeting and we'll be having a discussion. There's no phones that go out onto the shop floor. I don't I think a brilliant company. If you don't follow strategies, you should follow strategies. They are amazing, spot on, incredible business. And they describe it as no compromise. And that is for me exactly what we have to have. I have a line. You don't cross that line. If I have someone who is the slacker, the negative one, and it's like a bad apple. If you have an apple that's rotting, it spreads. Now, I want to isolate that apple. Put it in the bin. You're fired. Bugger off. But if I have someone within the team, having that wall chart is a way to either switch them back on as to, I better pull my socks up, because actually I do like being here, and everyone else is achieving what they should be achieving, because I can see she's hitting target. They're doing retail. I'm always going on about, can't retail, no one around here buys anything. Suddenly when it's all in front of you in black and white, if they've not had the switch of, I can do it, he can do it, I can do it. If they're still in a mental block, seeing other people achieving figures does a number of things. Either I now think, I better pull my socks up because actually I'm a slacker. Or it makes other people actually more aware that actually, what you're saying is rubbish, because he does it, she does it, and I'm going to do it. It devalues them. It shrinks their power. Negativity breeds negativity. And so for me, it's key and essential. I find where my negative is, and I either find a way of switching and turning that person, or we're going to be having meetings. And if they're not willing to change, they're not a right fit for that team. And we're going to be saying bye-bye, and I wish you well and every success wherever you may go. But you're not staying within this business. Negativity breeds negativity. Having that chart in front of them and seeing people starting to achieve their figures and their targets, their performance is improving, it shuts them up, or it makes other people in the team suddenly much more aware of, actually, I don't agree with you. And it devalues their power. It's like shrinking them. And for me, that's just such another bonus. Now, number four in why I love this. This was always the one that just made me quietly smile in the background. I'd perhaps be at my desk doing the figures or checking up ready for tomorrow's clients and getting everything set and ready. And there'd be this sudden phrase that would be said, "Can I have a coloured pen, please?" And I always had coloured pens. We do lots of work with colouring. And I never ever, in probably 25 years of using this system, ever have told anyone to use a coloured pen. But the second they get to their end of day and they're putting in their services, they're putting in their retail, they've done their grand total, and they can see they have gone over their target, they've done it. And often for me, we'd get to a point by usually around Friday time, people would be definitely hitting their targets. They'd be going over. Now I've got momentum. And again, because other people can see that, oh my God, he's hit his target, I'm so close, it would speed up. It gives us that momentum. We're going down here at a pace now, especially as we get into those last 2 days of the week. And suddenly, in red, in blue, with little smiley faces, would be how much they were over target. And the great thing with that was that in being in that coloured pen, suddenly everyone else can see, she's hit it, he's hit it, I'm going to hit it. And it's such a simple little thing, but it gets the momentum. They've hit theirs, I'm going to do mine. Especially if they're then looking at that figure and it's so small. I've only got to hit $300 or pounds and I've got 2 days to do it. They've already hit theirs. I'm gonna hit mine. It shifts how we think. It gives the momentum, the encouragement, the speed to push through that last day or two And yes, they'll be there with the same quote I've heard for years. Where's the coloured pens? Oh, I love that phrase. I really do. I love that phrase. However you monitor, for me, the power is in just that simple thing. When we are using a pen, we shift and use different parts of our brains. And that's a really important thing. It's a simple little trick, but it's a great little thing. By getting the team to be aware of their targets and what they've done so far and what they need to do, speeds up momentum. They get a chance to see that other people are doing it. Therefore, it is possible. If it's possible, I can do it. And then we get to that end of the week and that normal pen goes and the coloured pens come out, and there's nothing better as a salon owner or manager just standing back and seeing those pinks, greens, yellows, blues. They're over target. If you have any questions, just pop it down below. I'll always do my best to come back as quick as I can. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, have a fabulous day. See you soon. Ciao, ciao.